Here we go. I'm going to get in a little bit of Kovaaks today. Start off with close long strafes. We're doing the AIMER7 routine and kicking off with close long strafes. I'm in the very first section of the AIMER7 routine for the kind of complete plan. It does tracking and click timing. And I've slowed this down as per Kovaak's recommendation, and I'm working my way up. Trying to get 70% on the accuracy. So, see how we do today. A little jerky. Got a little predictive there. Need to pull that out. I'm only stopping my fire whenever I run out of mouse pad, essentially. Because those are situations in game where I know I'm going to have to stop firing anyway. So I feel like it's somewhat realistic to pull up on that. The rest of the time, it's just hold fire. And with that, there's a quick focus on target acquisition, too. So I don't want to be off the fire button too long, because you got to act like this is an engagement the entire time. This exercise obviously mimics an opponent being very close to you. So the movements, especially with a sensitivity like mine, where I'm at 27 centimeters per 360, they've got to be a lot more sweeping in order to keep up with the target up close. Unfortunately, that doesn't pair very well with my smaller mouse pad. Shouldn't have started shooting so soon there. I was not even on the target. Like I said, I'm really trying to only stop and let off the left mouse button when I'm running out of real estate on my mouse pad to get a better sense of the accuracy throughout the whole session. Alright, that is it for this first exercise. Got a 69.4, so not quite to that threshold that I want to get at. I would like to get to that 70%, but this is new to me, shooting a video on it while I'm doing it, so that probably affected it a little bit, but that is up from last time. I'm tracking all of this on a Google Sheets spreadsheet, so hopefully we continue to go up and I can bump the speed up to 0.6. I'm going up by 0.05 intervals, keeping it slow and steady, just so I can steadily get better. Okay, now we are on to one wall, 6 targets TE. This one I actually play in challenge mode. All of the click target ones I like to play in challenge mode, just so that I can track my progress through a tool that's available. I found it on Reddit. Somebody made a nice tracker. It makes nice pretty graphs that you can track your progress on. I don't like to do the tracking challenges in challenge mode because I like to kind of be able to take breaks when I need, and there's just I like to do those in free play, but these I like to do on the challenge mode. I track like I said before, I track the tracking exercises in a spreadsheet, so I am tracking that accuracy across the different days that I do it and at what speeds I'm at. Might be able to flash that up on the video here, but let's get into one wall, 6 targets TE is the next exercise. Going to focus on click tracking, click timing on this one. Lots of misses here early as I kind of hone back in. You can see it's kind of jerky. I find it takes me a couple of these challenge sessions to really kind of get in the swing here, kind of get warmed up with it. And some days tracking is better than clicking. Some days clicking is better than tracking. Just depends on how the day is going. And a lot of times, whichever one is better on my Kovaak session will be what I focus on whenever I switch to a game. So if click tracking is actually going really well, I'll snipe that day in like Battlefield. But if tracking is going really well, I may focus on using like LMGs or assault rifles, so that kind of thing. That was a pretty bad little series there. It was going well, and then I lost the focus. Just kind of taking it at a nice, easy pace. Trying to be swift within, but also not going so fast that I'm getting so many misses. There's no point in practicing missing. I've heard Daz mention that it's a good idea to get kind of in a rhythm. Kind of get into a flow. Something like that. See, so that was better than the last score. The misses are starting to creep in. So that was a little less than last time. Like I said, it kind of gets better sometimes as I get into it. You start to kind of calibrate your arm. I'm still working on some posture things and figuring out a good elbow position. Trying to figure out what I want to plant, whether it be elbow, whether it be, you know, palm or wrist. Kind of figuring out how I want to do the click timing. I seem to be struggling with click timing today. And there's sometimes I find that I think about it a little too hard. Sometimes you need to just look at the target and trust that your hand is doing the work for you. Like I'm doing right here. Yeah, see how much better that got? I stopped thinking about it so much, and it was just like, look at the target, point and click. Trust that you've put the work in after you've done this for a little while, and you'll find that stuff like that starts to happen. Not all the time. You can't, you know, get so fast. I'm by no means perfect. It's a work in progress, but these are just the things that I've discovered that have helped me. See right here, I'm probably looking a little bit too far ahead to the next target before I'm actually taking out what I'm looking at. Yeah, this one's obviously getting away from me. Need to slow it down. Kind of recalibrate. Also having some weird frame rate issues on this session. Keep getting drops. I can feel them. They may not show on the video, but there's definitely some frame drops on that. Sometimes you get frustrated with how slow you're going, but see, you speed up like that and you start missing. It's really, you've got to slow it down. These are pretty poor scores today. This one's not going well. 83, that was a little better, but obviously we could try. I think what we'll do, I lowered my crosshair size just a little bit in order to work on 1 while 6 targets small, but that was just me playing around the other day. Let me up it back because I'm having a hard time differentiating my crosshair between these blue dots on the wall. If I make the crosshair a little larger, or at least a different shape, I might be able to more easily tell where I'm at. It's not really helping. I don't think that was the issue. Some days are just better than others. Lots of hesitation in my aim today. See, I mean, I was up here at this at one point. That's my high score. Now I'm barely getting to 80s. But we've hit the 10-minute mark, so on to the next one, for better or for worse. Okay, now we're doing the FuglaaXYLongStrafes at a 0.6 speed. Again, going for that 70%. Hopefully this goes better than 1 while 6 targets did. Really want to smooth it out. I find that I have a very jerky kind of aim in this one. The small movements are very jerky. Want to try and keep it smooth and not predict too much. I found it's a lot better to react and then just recorrect as quickly as you can rather than try and predict where it's going to go. You want to just recorrect, then rematch its speed on target. Yeah, my aim is pretty jerky today. That probably explains why I was having some issues with 1 while 6 targets. What I like to do on this one is, since it's free play, this little orb has got health. And I like to just take out one orb and then take a quick break, and then hop back in. Just something to kind of get my eyes a break from looking. A good way to do that is just open up a window or look outside, pick something off in the distance, and kind of just look at it for a little bit. There we go. Gotta hit pause so the timer doesn't keep running. So I hate to look at the the accuracy while I'm mid-session, but I just happened to look at it, and it's at a 76.3, so we're doing pretty good. I would like to keep that number up, again, above that 70% threshold, so that I can bump the time up once I hit that mark. We'll bump it up we'll go up to like 0.65 once I get 70 on this for the entire session. Now I'm just going to take a little break and kind of recharge my eyes, kind of look out the window off in the distance for just a few seconds, kind of let the eyes have a break, get a reset. If it's sunny, good way to kind of like get some of that natural light on your eyes too. I find that helps me a lot with eye strain and stuff like that. Then we kind of just come back in and go back at it. Since you've slowed the time down, this timer won't actually get up to 10 minutes to do a full 10-minute session. You're actually going to get to only like 6 minutes. So something to keep in mind. This does run slower when you've slowed the time down. Massive frame dips there. I'm wondering if my recording this with shadow play is causing some pretty good frame dips. It almost seems like it is. I don't get a lot of frames as is. I can only really max out at 60. And you might notice some screen tearing right now. I've actually got VSync off, because for whatever reason I like the motion with VSync off more than I like it on. Some people like it on more. It's just something you have to play around with to kind of figure out what you like better. And you may find that this goes completely, as I let off, you may find this one goes completely against what I was saying with the first tracking exercise. This one I don't really let off with any kind of reposition. A lot of times I don't have to reposition on this one, that's why. So if I do have to reposition on this one, it's kind of like you punish yourself a little bit more, because I think you can do this one without. The movements aren't near as quick, they aren't near as sweeping, depending on your sensitivity, of course. Really want to try and keep that aim as smooth as possible. It's difficult on me today. I'm finding a lot of jerky motions in there. There we go. So we'll take another break. Gonna look out the window again, run through the whole routine, and then be back for another one. Another thing I like to do is make sure that my wrists and my hands stay pretty good and stretched out while I'm doing this. So during those pauses where you're looking off in the distance, do a couple of wrist mobility exercises, stretches and stuff like that, just to make sure that your wrists aren't tensing up on you. They stay nice and loose. And if you don't know any wrist mobility exercises, there's a couple of good ones that are just a quick Google search away. So be sure to look a couple up. You don't have to do like, there's a whole lot. There's this one routine that's pretty popular that runs through quite a few. I don't think you have to do all of those in each break, but just something to keep your wrists a little loose. Same as before, you want to react, try not to predict. It waited there for a while, didn't it? Even with those mobility exercises, I'm just noticing my hand is staying really tense today. And that's lending itself to the jerky motions and the frequent repositionings I'm having to do. There you go. I actually went over time just a little bit, but I wanted to be sure and finish that up, that one section. But look at that. That's a 76.3. Despite jerky movements, I guess did a little bit better today than last session. I think I was only at 69 or something on the last session, so I jumped up quite a bit on that one, despite the jerky movements. Kind of a weird day, but we'll jump next into Tile Frenzy, strafing 01. Go back into a click routine. Okay, guys, so this is coming in after I shot the video. I realized that once I got everything edited, it's actually a pretty long video to have an entire practice session with commentary. So I can then sit down, but it's still around 26 minutes. So what I'm going to do is make this part 1. If you are interested in seeing part 2, I'll be sure to have it linked at the end of the video here and down in the description, and you can also find it on the channel, of course. So be sure to check that out. If you enjoyed this video and you don't want to check out the next video, I understand. Be sure to leave a like, though, if you enjoyed it. And if you didn't, let me know down in the comments what you didn't like about it and what I can improve upon for next time. So hope to see you guys at the part 2 for this video. And if not, I hope to see you on the next video series that we do here on the HotSauceZee channel on YouTube. Thanks for stopping in, and I'll see you next time.